everybody, it's Kirk here with Space Pickle Designs, and today I have a bead weaving tutorial for you. It's a little bit of a hybrid. There's some bead weaving, there's a little bit of stringing / wire working here with the toggle clasp and how we attached it, but it's mainly that bead weaving. And so if you've never tried bead weaving before, I encourage you to try this tutorial because it's super beginner friendly. If you'd like to see how I made this beautiful little bracelet here, then just keep on watching. Okay, so for supplies, you are going to need the 6.5 by 4 millimeter yellow-green faceted column electroplated beads, and you're also going to need the 5.5 by 4 millimeter burley wood faceted column electroplated beads here. You can actually use all of one or all of the other, but for the design's sake, I am going to use both. I'm using a 15-0 here, and yeah, it doesn't have the color on it, but it's a 15-0 in a gold. I'm using this 4 millimeter round burley wood glass pearl here for embellishment. I'm using a toggle clasp that came in the treasure bag, 2 6 millimeter jump rings. Well, these might actually be 8, but you'll need 2 jump rings. And I brought out these 11-0s in, this is a Toho number 164. And I'll use that to attach the area where I'm going to do the clasp. I'm going to use a 6-pound Fireline in smoke color. I have my pliers to flatten out the edge of my Fireline here. I have a size 11 beading needle, and I have scissors just in case we need to cut our Fireline. All right, so for my true beginners here, when you have your needle and you have a Fireline, the Fireline is very cylindrical shaped. So what I like to do is take the edge of the plier here and I just flatten out a good bit of that edge. You can see that. All right, and so then it'll make it going into the needle just a little bit easier. So we're already in the needle, then I can take the plier to pull it through. All right, so I pull it through a while. I have a small amount of, probably 1 wingspan of Fireline here, but that's just because I don't want to keep pulling it through on the camera for you. I will work in smaller amounts just for filming's sake, but please grab as much as you are comfortable working with. So I just have this stop bead here. It is a bead that is not in my design, and so I will bring that back. I will leave probably a 6-inch tail here, and I will go back through that stop bead. This is just kind of to help you when you're doing your design. So this is a super easy, super beginner friendly design, and I love getting back into bead weaving. I'm so excited to be doing this, but this is our design. We're going to take one of the green and one of the burley wood like this, and then we're going to take one of the green and one of the burley wood. All right, so we have 4 on the needle. We're going to bring it all the way down, and we're going to basically make a circle, but we're just going to go through the first 2 beads here. See that right there? We're going to pull this tight, and we are going to get these beads to lay against one another. Now, this is going to look, excuse my language, effed up a little bit, right? But when you go back through those 2 beads, this is, you want to keep it in your hand like this, right? Go like this. And now, since we're doing alternate colors, the color that needs to come next is the green, and then the burley wood, and we're going to go back into this green bead right here. And just get it to lay correctly. You're just gonna have to keep it in place like that, and then go back up through our beads. And yes, I am keeping my fingers over the beads. I encourage you to do the same so that you keep your shape, okay? We want this to be a really cute design, but it does require you putting your fingers over the bead. So what I did is I picked up another green and then a burley wood, and I'm just gonna make that circle again. And the way that the beads, you just tap them in place to get them to line up. So these beads are different sizes, but since we are using the same beads on each row, it doesn't matter, right? You can use this stitch with any beads that you have. It works especially well with those cylindrical beads. So if you already have some from Gina's website, then this will be perfect for you. So we're coming out of a burly wood here. Again, we are going to pick up the green and then the burly wood, and again, complete that circle. All right, we just tap her in place, go back up through the design here. All right, and see, it's coming together pretty good, but don't worry if it's not like exactly perfect how you like to see it. Let's pick up a green, a burly wood, go back through the green. We're making a circle here. We're just tapping in place, and then we're gonna go through to reinforce. All right, so at this point, let's just keep it tight here. So at this point, I would stitch the rest of the length of the bracelet that you want. So I like a 7-inch bracelet, so I'm going to stitch until about 6 1/4 because of my toggle length. So you just measure your toggle and see how much space that's going to take, and then I'm going to keep doing this stitch, and I'll meet you back once I have my length. All right, so I've got the length of bracelet that I'd like, and I went ahead and went with that 6 1/4 length of bracelet here. And as you can see, it's looking a little messy, but that's totally normal. Don't freak out. I did have to add some Fireline to this, and I've always used Gina's method of adding Fireline. So if you don't know or you're not familiar with that method, I will add that link in the description box below. It goes to a video. It's very easy. So we're at the end of our bracelet here, and what I want to do, I think I want to pick up about 11 O's. And we're bringing the 11 O's down, as you can see, and we're just making a loop here. This is a total beginner friendly little design here. It will ignite your passion for bead weaving, I promise you. So we have this little bit here. We want to reinforce. Okay, we're going to reinforce twice. We are using 6 pound, so it's definitely going to be, we're going to be totally okay doing it twice. And by reinforce, if you're a true beginner, reinforce just means going through that path again. And so we're gonna go through one more time at least. And what I like to do with bead weaving projects is I like to leave the clasp area free to like open to be replaced. So what I do is I just create like an anchor point, like I'm doing here, this little loop of beads, and I will attach a jump ring on there so that you can change out the clasp as you need, especially with lobster claw clasps, because those tend to break very easily over time. So I have my little group of 11 beads here, and these are 11 O's again, in the green color. And I just wanted to kind of mirror that green color throughout the bracelet, which this bracelet is just gorgeous. Okay, so for embellishment, a lot of bead weaving designs use embellishment. And so what we're gonna do on the edge here, because you can see like it's a little wonky, like the spacing isn't the best, and you can see the thread bridge, and a lot of people hate seeing thread bridges. So what we're gonna do is take one 15-0, one of those 4mm pearls, and you can use a bicone if you'd like, right? It doesn't have to be a pearl. I'm just using what's in the treasure box, so you don't have to buy anything additional. But this is what we're looking like on the needle. We're coming out of this top little burly wood crystal here, we're gonna go into the green, the yellow green, and we're gonna go through both of those crystals there. Okay, we're gonna pull it through. We're gonna again pick up a 15-0, 4 millimeter of your choice. I really love those pearls, and a 15-0. This is what we're doing here, okay? We are just going to go right into the next one here. Okay, pull it tight. And again, this is kind of what we're looking like here. 15-0, 4 millimeter, 15-0. We're coming out of the burly wood. We're gonna go into the green and go through both of those cylinder beads. 15-0, 4 millimeter, 15-0. And we are just going to continue this process. As you can see, this is what we're looking like right now. Looks pretty good already. And again, that helps, like going through multiple times helps solidify the shape, the structure. And so we're really just making this super easy. This is just like a gateway into bead weaving. Honestly, it was the first thing that got me into beading. I was not a stringer. I was not a wire worker. I was a bead weaver at first. And so here we go. So we're going to continue this all the way down, and I'll meet you at the end here, and then we're gonna flip it and reverse it. All right, so I made it to the end here, and what we're gonna do, we're kind of just flipping this bracelet here. We're going to do the same thing as we did on the other end and pick up 11 11-0s. Bring that down. We're just making a little loop here. And again, we are going to reinforce it 2 times, 2 more times. Okay, we're coming out of the 11-0 here. We want to make sure we miss that 15-0 and just go directly into the cube or the cylinder beads here. Pull it through. And then go directly into those cube beads. All right, so if you like the look of the bracelet just like this, you can definitely just keep it like this, which I'm tempted to do, but I do want to indulge my maximalist side and add embellishments to the other sides. So that's what I'm gonna do, but take a little mental note. This is what it looks like with one pass through. I'm gonna go ahead and do the embellishments on the other sides. And then I'll meet you back at the end here where we just tie off our thread. And so you could either do the embellishment just like it is with the 15-0 pearl and a 15-0, or you could do like 3 15-0s and kind of keep the pearls where they are. And the 15-0s will just serve to cover that thread bridge that a lot of bead weavers hate to see on the edge there. I personally do not mind that at all, but I am in the mood right now to do more pearls. More is more. So I will go ahead and do that and then meet you at the end to show you exactly what it looks like so you can make the choice yourself. All right, so here is what the bracelet looks like with double embellishments. It gives it a little bit of a ruffled like edge on there with the pearls. And I just like how it reinforces like the tennis bracelet look here. And because I am doing a hybrid of weaving and wire working, stringing, whatever you want to call it, this is the end of the bead weaving part, and so I'm coming out at the end here. Again, you know, I am missing that 15-0 at the end. I'm just coming out of that cylinder bead, and what I'm going to do, just to kind of make it a cohesive piece here, I'm gonna go back through these 11 11-0s. Just be patient with yourself. A lot of the beader YouTubers, not me, but a lot of the other ones make it look easy. And sometimes you just get a little bit stuck. So what you do here is that you can go through. I'm going back into the cylinder bead here. I'm going to come out the middle. I'm going to make a little knot. So what I do is just I put my needle underneath here and just an overhand little knot, and make sure it goes in between the beads here. Sorry, my needle came off when I pulled that through. So we're gonna go into that burly wood crystal here. We're just gonna keep following the thread path. We're not making any new thread paths. Just wiggle that needle right on through. Okay. I'm gonna go under this thread bridge right here, make another little knot. As you can see, go through the pearl, go into the 15-0, the two crystals here. I'm going to go through the 15-0 at the end here, and between the 15-0 and the pearl, I made another knot. I'm gonna go into the pearl, into the 15-0, and I'm gonna go in the middle here. I'm gonna come out the back of these two crystals, go through that 15-0, and then come out the back and pull, and I'll pull my needle off. And what I do here, I leave about 1/4 of an inch, and so we'll see if you can kind of see that right there. You take a lighter, you just gonna put it down through. And so what you're gonna do is on the opposite side, you're gonna take your stop bead off, you're gonna attach a needle, and you're going to do the exact same thing. All right, so we have weaved our ends back in, and we have this beautiful bracelet here. As you can see, that is just such a stunner. And because we want to preserve the right to change our clasp if we need to, if it breaks, I'm using this like 8mm jump ring. I'm gonna put a toggle on one side. Make sure it's secure. And then you put the little toggle bar on the other with another jump ring. And it's also good for if you made it too short, you can add a little bit of additional length here too. So I always like to err on the side of small, just to be able to lengthen it if I need to. I feel like bracelets are the most tricky pieces to get right, but here we are. Here's the bracelet. All right, so here's the finished bracelet. Here's the toggle. If you need to reduce the length a little bit, you could use probably a 6 or a 4mm jump ring there. But I like the way that this is so silky against my wrist here, and I just love that little pattern that we have. It gives it a little bit of a just a visual interest, more so than if we would have used the same color crystal throughout the whole piece. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was a little bit of a throwback to the beginning of my channel where I did a bunch of bead weaving tutorials. So if you have the GGC treasure bag, let me know what you've made with it down in the comments below. And I hope you try out this tutorial. Let me know if you do. I'll check it out for sure. And I hope everybody is staying safe and well, and I hope you had a great weekend. Till the next one, I'll see ya. Bye.